It appears that each of you has had a busy individual career. How did you meet and form the trio? How often do you perform together? And someone wants to know, how did you come up with the name Trio Cavatina? So all those questions.
Okay, well, all right. We met in schools and summer music festivals. With Priscilla went to conservatory together with her Ruby at the summer music festival. So since we start participating in chamber music circles early in our training, that's how we met. And then some years later we decided to bond and form a group. It was tough finding a name because we would think of something and we Google it and it's already there. So it took us a while and family members were involved and suggestions, and we thought when we came across Cavatina it sounded musical, maybe a little feminine. Did I answer everything? Okay.
And I'll stay with you for one more question. Specifically, are there any Lithuanian composers whose music for the trio you would like to play and you would like to hear?
There are a few at home, a stack of music that still needs to be looked at. So yes, there are a few composers. A young woman that lives in New York, actually, I met her in New York, and a couple of more established and older.
Thanks. Rumi, speaking of repertoire, how do you decide on what music you're going to play?
That's a great question. We spend a lot of time talking about it, and we often talk about having listening parties and getting together and listening to newer music. For the masterworks of the repertoire, we try to think of either a thematic program or works that work nicely together, either in terms of contrast or in terms of a theme, or in some cases family members, or husband and wife teams. So we like to have a program that tells a story or that has some kind of a thread through it. But we do spend a lot of time thinking about programming. We want it to be something that the audience enjoys, but maybe also a few things on the program that maybe you don't know that we can maybe interest you in. So it's always a tricky balance, but we find it very rewarding.
I'll stay with you for one more question. You could probably answer this for the whole group. What music do you listen to for your own enjoyment that is most unlike what you play? You shouldn't answer for the group.
I like silence. No, I'm joking. I'm joking when I'm kind of serious because I spend so much time playing music that sometimes on my off time I like to have music-free downtime. No, but seriously, I love listening to jazz and different kinds of world music. There isn't a lot of music that I don't like or that I strongly dislike. I like most music, to be honest. That's just the kind of person I am. But I'm not sure I can really answer for the rest of the group.
We'll give them a chance. What kind do you listen to, real brief?
Lately I've been into Brazilian music. Yeah,
What do you listen to?
Actually, lately I've been listening to a lot of nursery rhymes.
Have you been singing?
Oh yeah, I have a 22-month-old girl at home, and so all she wants to listen to are, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
I'm going to ask you to define, because we got more than a couple questions about trifolium. And as I told you downstairs, I found very little information about the piece. In fact, the composer has a website but doesn't write about this piece. So how would you define it, and how did it come about, and what was it like? This person asks, what was the adventure like when you first began to rehearse it?
Actually, it was Yeva's idea to play this piece. She had heard it or played it somewhere else before. And so when we first started working on it, we noticed there's so much rock and roll in it. It's really fun to play and challenging, and
because through the piece she combines many different styles. There's a section that it indicates the Latin feel, and there's a sort of religious feeling section when it goes. So Trifolium, it's 3D clover. Is that, no.
So the audience can talk to you more about that at the reception. Yeah. By the way, did you bring a CD or no? Yes? Are you working on one?
It's in the works. It's been in the works for years. Just hasn't finished.
Now, we had a couple questions about Marlborough and the Naumburg Festival. What's like at Marlborough, what's it like for the Naumburg? Who wants to tackle those two together? You know what I mean? Yeah.
The Marlborough Music Festival is actually where the three of us actually joined and were there all at the same time. And it's a wonderful festival where you get to work with really distinguished artists, and I learned so much there. And I think all of us took away a lot. And the tradition that they have there is, it's really special. I don't know if any of you have ever visited there, but you live together, you sleep together, you play music together, you work. It's the most intense 7 weeks there are. And I think it really helped prepare us to be a piano trio. We've been together for 5 years now, almost 6 years, and I think we prepared really well for the Naumburg competition, and it was in thanks to the Marlborough Festival, I think. Yeah.
Real briefly, do they still have the food fights at Marlborough?
They don't have any organized food fights. There is an old tradition of napkin ball throwing. Yes.
I shouldn't have said food. That's so crude. Napkin ball throwing, that's right. Okay, one last question, and I'll have you talk about your cello, and then we'll have Rumi answer the last one.
My cello actually is made in Salt Lake City. It was made in 2004, and I call it my Mormon cello.
Your violin?
Mine's an old Italian, made in Milan. I don't know the exact year, but most likely the early 1700s.
And your piano?
Piano?
A piano everywhere you go is different. Well, here's the question. We usually have young people, and this is really good. What would you advise a young person learning to play an instrument other than practice, practice, practice?
Well, you really have to like it. You really have to love it and know. I mean, it's such a great thing. And why is it great? To really understand why music is great, and then that's when inspiration comes. Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get to the music, we have a presentation to make. And notoriously, I have left this downstairs, but I did not forget today. So this is our award for you, for the trio. And it says, the inscription is Wolf Trap Foundation for the Performing Arts honors Trio Cavatina 2010-2011, Wolf Trap debut artist, November 12th, 2010, the Discovery Series, The Barns at Wolf Trap. And there's a picture of all the activities at Wolf Trap, as well as Wolf Trap Performing Arts logo. And it's from us to you, and hope that your careers become wonderful and blossom through the years. So thank you very much. Congratulations.